Hello, everybody. David here. This is episode 2 of trying to construct a semi replica of the Royal Children's Hospital in Melbourne. It's a very pretty build, although it is a bit heavy on the brain side, if you know what I mean. So today's goals, or this episode's goals, are to basically tidy up the bottom part of this building. I'm calling it the wing building because if you go up, it kind of looks like wings, maybe bat wings, I don't know. So you go up, it looks, I don't know, winged, sort of. So I'm calling it the wing building, which will, part of fixing it will, or improving it and upgrading it, whatever word you want to use, will actually involve quite a lot of landscaping. I'm not sure how much I'll show on the montage. It depends how long it takes. So all of this bit doesn't need to be done, just the landscaping, because that's where the ground floor is. And then I'm going to attempt to do the facade for this part. Now, there's like a wall where the ground is at this level, and then there's buildings down in here, so it's like an indent. I don't know how they deal with flooding, but there's a building area here. It looks kind of like this sort of 1 or 2 story buildings along the edge of the dip, and then there's some like a park or eating area or courtyard sort of area. But I'll have a go at doing the facade for this part, and also completing this courtyard. I'm just going to have to, I don't know, make it up because there's no pictures. I haven't been able to find. I've been looking for about a week to find any pictures of what this courtyard looks like, other than extremely blurry Google Maps images. So I might actually just bring this pattern down to the bottom floor along this part, and maybe some of this part. And this looks to be a plain wall, like kind of this sort of wall. I'll also be putting in floors and this courtyard, which is in the middle of the building. I have no idea what's in the courtyard, but I'm going to turn it into a garden because, you know, gardens rock. And I'll also put a roof on this. The roof is an interesting shape, so it might take a little bit of fiddly to get it right. So I just want to improve this corner and make it so that this building looks complete. It's at least got floors in, and as I said, the landscaping a little. I am contemplating giving myself even more work than I already have by actually wrapping this landscaping up with this landscaping, because this is higher than the street level, the road level. Although I do like how this, I made this road, one side go up, one side go down, because I like it like that. I had imagined sort of this would be going down to something. Currently I don't have something here because it's sort of part of the property for the hospital. I might turn it into like a parking lot or something, I don't know. There are never enough parking lots in cities. But the idea was that the slope would go from up there at the embassy building, and the road skips down, and then down to this level. But I might actually just see if I can use the clone command and just copy large amounts of grass and then sort of landscape, like a big semicircle that goes oops, from the road, from this bit to sort of the base of this underground car parking entrance. So there's, a big circle, and then that can continue being a hill. This road here is actually, at least in the story, it's the one that goes north, that is actually north, for a very, very long way, and then it goes up onto the Northern Highway. They have their motorways between different cities raised above the forest. My original idea was that if they were raised above the forest could basically grow naturally below them. It's not really good for accidents because you dive off and you're dead, but the founding principle of the Aramanan people on Shadow was that they were going to try not to impact the environment in a parasitic way. So yeah, they cleared areas for cities and stuff, but between cities it's pretty much just native forest. I don't know how well that would work in a realistic sort of context, but that's the philosophy, that they're not actually as intensely capitalistic as we are. They just want space to live. So back away from TSU canon creation stuff, it shouldn't be too hard. I'm gonna try and just have a play with the bits I don't know, because as long as it looks relatively congruent with the rest of the building, it probably doesn't matter if it's not accurate, especially as there's, unless I go to Melbourne and walk around, or in my case roll around, and actually look at these places and take photos of them, there's no way I can really get an accurate view of what they look like. I've got one more avenue of research, which is often people, when they go to places, they take lots of photos and like do a tour video on YouTube, and I got quite a lot of really good shots, particularly of the place with the stuff and the thing. There's an alleyway that's on the UCL campus, and I managed to get what that looked like from a video of someone doing a tour. So maybe someone does a tour, I don't know, but that's my last avenue for research, to try and see what this area looks like. But if that doesn't happen, if I can't find anything, because it is a hospital, I can't imagine many people would be all touristy about a hospital, even an architecturally designed one like this one. So we'll just go with the flow. I have to accept the fact that it's not going to be perfect, or a perfect replica. At least at the Auckland Museum, I've been there a bajillion times, so I could just use my memory to fill in the gaps. But I've never been to Melbourne, so. But I do like, if you go quite a distance, it looks really interesting, this build. So I'm kind of looking forward to having floors and ceilings and stuff in, and it'll probably be a ridiculously huge space, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, I'll just stand my character down. He can be Batman for a little while. Rawr. So, as always, wish me luck, and cue the music. this line should meet the line of the building. Oh dear, I think I've made a huge mistake. Welcome back. So, at the end of the montage, you would have seen that I realised I made a big mistake in the calculations. This mistake is that this line, this line is meant to be here. And it may not look like a big mistake, but when you're calculating distances and stuff, things should line up if you do it right. And it's an 8-block miscalculation. And if it is definitely a mistake, it could also be that I'm actually on a new pain medication, which makes me kind of blurry. So I maybe just read the map wrong, and I'm actually, it's fine. But if it isn't fine, these 3 bits of glass mark a line that into a car parking area, like underground car parking here, and that come out here. They need to be in line. See that? This line here lines up with this line here. And so if I move it differently, everything will be affected. Where the pillars are, where these driveways are, this area, this the underground parking here, everything. So I actually finished the montage last night, and I kind of rage quit. I was just like, lots of very silent, not spoken, but screaming in my head swear words. Because it affects like half the building if it's wrong. I think it is wrong, but as I said, with my new medication, I don't really trust. I have to triple check everything. But even though I only got about 2/3 of the way through what I wanted to get done, I think what I've done so far is pretty good. I'm just shooting over here. I was gonna originally put like shops, like walls, and maybe in internal decoration, but I found a relatively blurry picture of this courtyard area, and it looks like it may have walls on the inside, but it's just glass on the outside. So I thought I'd just leave it there. It's not currently going to be any set, any location that's in the story or potentially in my future filming, so I can just leave it as it is. I didn't get to doing this landscaping, to be perfectly honest. I just hate landscaping. I did this wall as well. That actually took quite a while. Now I have to actually go through a window that I forgot to do. There are some things I can't film using replay mod, and a narrow space like this is too narrow. It's just not meant to film that kind of short semi-internal space, or I'm just really not good enough at driving the replay instructions and directions and stuff. This isn't finished. I just sort of tried to put a tree in just to put something here, and then of course half of it's this stuff and not podzol instead of grass. but that's okay. I'm going to come back. I found a picture of what it looks like for real, and I'll see what I can do to do a replica of that. There we go. I also did a spiral staircase all the way up because, quite frankly, if this was my building, this is where I'd put the stairs because it's pretty and there's sunlight, and you could, well, in real life, you'd be able to see more of the courtyard. It would just be a really nice. Doesn't it look like a really nice place to be able to look up while going upstairs? I think it does. I haven't put enough doors in, but that's okay. I don't know if you can see in the montage footage, but I actually did the stripped oak logs in a particular way. See, it's this way, and then that way, and then this way, and then that way, in order to make the montage look kind of cooler, hopefully, theoretically. I don't know if YouTube's file compression will make it unintelligible, but I just wanted to show that to you, to show that I did try and make it look more interesting. This building was a pain in the ass. I wanted to get this look of, you know, the sort of cheap kind of 70s concrete style buildings, and they're always sort of rough textured deliberately. Like, they actually put the texture in with a like a comb like thing for putting the concrete down, because in Minecraft this is concrete, it's flat and singular color, and while my my renderer, my pretty maker program, makes things sometimes sort of saturates the color a little bit, so you can't really see details because it's bright sunlight. That's not the kind of concrete that this building looks like it's made of. So I used concrete powder. The side effect of concrete powder is the problem. It's affected by gravity. So if you make a mistake, you get a whole pile of bits of concrete powder at the base, which was kind of irritating and amusing all at once. I'm not entirely sure what the building's used for. I thought at first it was like a big stairwell because of the shape of the zigzag of the windows, but it goes higher than the building, so unless maybe it's also got like elevators in it, and the bit that pokes above the surface of, I think it's about 2 stories worth above the surface of the roof of the nearest building, might be sort of maintenance for elevator, or I don't know. Maybe I've just made it too small. I don't know. It's been very hard trying to find the information that I want to do, that I need to do this properly. But I'm actually going to end up having to fudge quite a lot of details. I had hoped to get the facade for these 2 buildings done, and maybe in here there's actually like a space between the 2 buildings that's actually have a ceiling above it, but it's got light, so it's sort of got the vibe of like a mall space. So you got this flat area with all sorts of really cool decorations, and there's shops on the sides in some areas of it, and then there's another level up and another level up, so you look up on both sides and you can see into the buildings, these 2 buildings, and this is one of the crosswalks that are above the main surface. It looks really pretty in the pictures I've been able to find. It's just going to be a little hard to get scale right because, as you can see, it's all on the diagonal. but that's okay. It'll be a good lesson in learning how to be a better Minecraft builder. I'm still a lot, I tend to underestimate, a lot irritated with this era. I'm still in the throw a tantrum stage. In fact, if I wasn't recording it for a video, I would have just rage quit and stayed rage quit for like 2 weeks while I figured out how to not be angry anymore and then how to fix it. But I was spending the next few days to figure out how to fix it, or what's wrong, if anything. I have to go through all of the... I've got 2 different floor plans and a set of pictures and a 3D tour on YouTube that I found that has this, like, a view from here, so you can see all the bits. So I'll have to go through everything and see if my calculations are correct. So I'm a bit bummed that it's not quite the right... It's not quite done. Done to the level that I wanted it to be done. I wanted the facade for this bottom floor as well done, but it's a bit more complicated, and that's okay. I just have to put a bit more effort in than I expected. Anyway, hopefully next week the build will be a little bit less irritating with a little bit more production. Be a bit more productive. Anyway, for now, ara ni tasa.